Right, well, I'm just going to begin by asking about your own sort of relationship with spy movies and whether you're a big fan growing up, because I'm assuming sort of in your childhood they would have been quite sort of relevant in film, I suppose.
They've always had a fantastic mystique for me. You know, growing up in the 60s, what I remember most in terms of television entertainment was the rather campy superhero. It was Batman. You know, the old Adam West Batmans. There would be the Avengers, the Champions, and I loved them. And detective stuff like Ironside. And I remember loving, the buzz I would get when the theme music played. And I still get it if I hear themes to some of those old things. But among them would be, the Ipcress Files. And I think Her Majesty's Secret Service might have been the first film I went to see in a cinema without my parents, just with friends at the age of about 10. And I loved the idea of suave elegance and the secret mission and the kind of unexpected lethal powers, all that sort of thing. I was very captivated by it all.
It's a great film to see as well, the first one about your parents. I think mine was American Pie, which isn't quite as elegant, I suppose.
No, that's a generational difference there, of course.
Of course, Matthew's films are so playful and they're sort of irreverent in the most sort of endearing way possible. Does that derive from his personality? Because is he sort of like a big kid on set?
Yes, he is, in a way. He's a complete paradox between a big kid and a very, very sophisticated filmmaker. And but the kid in him knows exactly what a kid of, 15, 16 wants to see. He knows what he fell in love with in cinema, and he wants to put it back and make it writ large and play with it a little bit. So he takes images that are familiar with. Almost everything in this film is a reference to something that you're familiar with, and then he just flips it a little bit. The guy you're rooting for might suddenly die, or the guy that looks harmless is lethal, and the guy that is menacing is probably the easiest person to deal with. And so he's basically subverting an awful lot of expectations, and he's satirizing something which he also clearly loves. So he's not really attacking anything either.
And my favourite scene in the film is when you dispatch. Is it 79 people? Is that
I
right?
think my personal count is 79.
Yeah. That must have been a great scene to shoot. And how many takes was it until you just thought, I can't do this anymore?
Well, actually, the adrenaline had kicked in. That was at the end of a 6-month training process, because Matthew wanted me to do all of it if possible, and it was done with single camera. Unlike a conventional fight scene, even our own pub fight scene is in to cut, and so there are things you can cheat with when you do that, like most scenes in a film. You do a master shot and then you come in for little bits and pieces. That didn't have any of that. That was just one angle for everything, and so the handheld camera had to be part of the choreography in order to be able to be where you could find the shots. And so it was a dance. It was a dance with whoever was involved in the sequence. And so they are all consecutive sequences shot from a single camera, showing us, as much of a full frame as possible. And exhilarating and painful and exhausting and all of those things. But that all gives you great satisfaction, particularly when you've never done that sort of thing before.
Is it something you'd like to do more of? I hear James
I'd
Bond.
love to. Do what?
I was going to say, here James Bond is hiring at the moment, potentially. So.
I think that ship has probably sailed for me, age-wise, and I think they're not hiring. I don't know. I think Daniel Craig is probably not going anywhere soon.
Yeah. Cool, brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank
Much
you.
appreciated.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey!